What is up, Beam Team? It is your boy King Beam, and it is day 20 of King Beam's 25 Days of Christmas. And today isn't a Christmas themed video per se, but a movie did come out recently called Godzilla Minus One, and this is the first time I've ever seen a Godzilla movie ever. This is my first ever Godzilla watch, and it was amazing. I know that this was like, my friends were telling me that there's like a difference between like the Japanese Godzilla movies and the American Godzilla movies, and apparently the American Godzilla movies are like mid, but the Japanese Godzilla movies are where it's at, because they're like the originators of where Godzilla comes from, so they really know the character and such. So I saw Godzilla Minus One, and it just, the phrase "the indomitable human spirit" just comes to mind. That's what I feel is what comes from this movie. And usually, like, when there's a movie about big monsters, I don't care about the humans. I want to see big monster go crazy, like in Transformers. I don't care about humans in Transformers. I want to see big robot dudes fight with guns and swords and explosions. But I guess, like, since in a monster movie, since the monsters aren't really like humanized, I'd say you don't, you have to have an attachment to the human characters. Well, Kong has some humanization to him from the Kong movies I've seen, but like in this particular Godzilla movie, Godzilla isn't really given characterization other than really cool giant alien dinosaur monster that breathes nukes out of its mouth. I want to see Oppenheimer versus Godzilla. Who wins? Let's go bomb for bomb and see who wins. Oppenheimer versus Godzilla, because bro, Godzilla would like shoot this beam out of his mouth, and it'd like just like, and then you'd get like a split second, and then just like a big explosion. And I thought that was really cool. But like I was trying to say, indomitable human spirit. The human characters in this movie are what really drives this movie. Our main character, Shikushima. Yeah, right? Shikushima. I think that's what his name is. He's like this Japanese fighter pilot. He was a kamikaze pilot, and he decides to like not kamikaze himself. And so, he lands on this island with like these engineers, and then Godzilla shows up, and he's like too scared to shoot Godzilla. And so then all these years later, when Godzilla shows back up, he feels like it's his fault that, Godzilla's here, and, people around him that were, well, not close to him, but, like people around that were close to him, let's just say, were, people are getting hurt and people are dying and things are happening. And he feels like it's all his fault because he didn't have the courage to do what he needed to do. So it's all like the whole like plot pushing the film, and his characterization is, his will to live. Will he live, or like, give his life for the human race, basically, if that makes sense. Well, it's not like that serious, but like, the whole thing was him not wanting to die per se. But yeah, because everybody like, I don't know all of the history, but according to this movie, like, I guess the Japanese army didn't really like care as much about its soldiers, and it was, because kamikaze was like an honorable death, committing suicide, basically. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, but they'd like crash their planes into things for an honorable death, and their planes didn't have ejection seats. So like all like, the people were coming together and saying, hey, let's live, let's not die anymore, let's choose to live, you know what I'm saying? And that was like a big component of the characterization. And I don't know who, there's this lady called Noriko in the movie, don't know who the actress was. Great actress, beautiful, by the way, very, very beautiful, but also great at acting as well. Both the main all the main actors in this movie were really good. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Like, I knew it was going to be good, but I wasn't expecting it to be like amazing like it was. I thought the acting was incredible, and the cinematography was epic, like some like the first opening shots, I'm just looking at them, and it just looks really pretty to look at. Like it's a movie about a giant dinosaur alien monster, but it looks really, really pretty. And let's talk about Godzilla, herself. I'm not caught up on the lore. Is Godzilla a he or a she? I don't know. I feel like someone was telling me that Godzilla is a woman. I don't know. Is there like different Godzilla versus? I don't know. I'm not going to get too far into that. If you know about Godzilla, let me know in the comment section down below. I cannot talk today, but Godzilla, herself, looked crazy real. It looked really realistic. Okay, there were some parts. Where like Godzilla was like standing up, towering, and they like showed like a full body shot of Godzilla, and it like looked kind of like not realistic. But when they like zoomed in on the eyes, like, oh my gosh, it looked like a real living, breathing alien monster. I enjoyed that. Like all the close-ups on the facial structure of Godzilla, like after Godzilla like sent out the beam, his like face would like get all charred from the fire, and I love that little detail. They'd zoom in, and it just looked amazing. You know what I'm saying? But going back to the thesis of the video, the indomitable human spirit, the end of the movie, when all the human people they come together and they make this plan, and you know they're gonna try to sink Godzilla to the bottom of the ocean, and then they do it, right? But then Godzilla, it's Godzilla, so you know they're like, hey, if it sinks all the way to the bottom of the ocean, then the pressure will kill it. But the pressure didn't kill it. So then they tried to depressurize it by making them rise up to the surface. You know what I'm saying? So then boom, bam, right? So the pressurization and then depressurization both combined would surely knock it out, right? No, because Godzilla's Godzilla. And then Godzilla rises up to the surface. And Godzilla does this cool thing. I don't know if it does this in all the movies, but like the spikes on his back would like get blue and like and like load up like a Death Star, and then and like shoot a beam, and it was really cool to see. But you know, as soon as it does that, our main character comes in and a plane flies into his mouth and it explodes Godzilla's face off, and the humans win. The indomitable human spirit, ladies and gentlemen. There were some nods towards a sequel coming out, so I'd be excited to see that. But yeah, if you haven't seen Godzilla -1, I'd highly recommend. If you're a Godzilla fan, absolutely. And even if you're like me, you've never seen a Godzilla movie a day in your life, I think that you will enjoy it. It's just, like I said, it's pretty to look at. And that soundtrack, ooh, the soundtrack just brings something to the movie. Just makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you want to go do something, you know? Now I want to go defeat a giant alien dinosaur monster. Let me just say something for a second before I end this video. Bro was sitting here, great acting by the way. There's this one scene where like someone close to him, you know, something bad. I already spoiled the movie a little bit, so I'm gonna just, if you ain't seen it, I'm gonna spoil it. Noriko dies, by the way, right? So Noriko dies, and like right in front of him, she pushes him out the way, and she gets hit by this like the residual blast from an explosion that Godzilla does, right? So then he's like sitting on the ground screaming, and you know, at this point in time in the movie, Godzilla took out all of his like fellow companions, compadres, I don't know, his army bros. He took them out, right? And so then Godzilla came back again and hurt his friends, then came back again and killed his wife. If it were me, I'd just run the ones. Hand-to-hand combat with Godzilla, me personally, and I'd win. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hop in a plane and, you know, hatch some elaborate scheme to take out Godzilla. Me personally, I'm taking him out myself with my 2 hands. But that's just me. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe. It means a lot. It really helps out. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with some more Christmas content. I love you. Have a great day. Peace out.